Hello, people of the internet. My name is JD Shadow. I was going to do a special report on this particular topic, but there is some slight problems with the special report right in the moment. Mainly that I had to redo everything on my computer and I had to redo all the graphics. So instead, I'm going to do a let's talk on this particular topic because I want to talk about it. I have a lot I want to say, a lot I want to get off my chest because I've seen a lot of videos about this and coming to this girl's defense. However, I felt my rage boiling because of this, and I'm not going to scream and curse and yell. I'm not Cenk Uygur, I'm not the Young Turks, I'm not going to do all that, but I am going to express a lot of rage here because I do feel as though we need to be a lot better than this. It has nothing to do about racism and hairstyles or anything of the sort, and by now you probably know what I'm about to talk about because you've probably seen a good bit of videos about this. So, Bounding Into Comics is the one place that has the best summary about this thing that has happened, which has to do with Animal Crossing New Horizons, which, by the way, I do play. So I know all about the game. I know about what you're supposed to be doing in the game, which is be very chill. This is probably the chillest game out there, but because it's mainstream, it has to attract all of these roaches into the game. By roaches, I mean the people who want to cancel a probably 14-year-old girl because she decided to use one of the new hairstyles that were implemented in the fall update, I think it is, or maybe the winter update. I can't remember which one it actually is. Maybe it's the most recent update of the game, which added a lot of hairstyles which a lot of people were petitioning for, and I'm glad they do have them now. The diversity is felt throughout the Animal Crossing community, except when we talk about somebody who decided to use those for space buns. And the tweet in question is from @StarDewLeaf, and it looks like her name is Fifi, which is actually a pretty nice name. I hope I'm getting that right. That's what the name looks like, so there you go. And the only thing she actually says, I'm assuming, is that she says cute space buns, and it shows her using one of the new hairstyles. Now, before we get any further, space buns are referring to the odongos like Sailor Moon wears, the iconic odongos in Japan, and a lot of races actually use those. So it's not as if they are exclusive to what we're about to talk about, because apparently she got freaking dogpiled for this, and this is some of the worst examples of call-out culture or cancel culture I have ever seen. And it got, according to Bounding Into Comics, and I'm going by that particular website because they have the best summary about what happened there, by this fool. Yes, I'm calling her a fool. I don't know if it's a she or not, but she is a fool for saying this, and an outright disgusting excuse for a human being, because she is the one that is insinuating that she would like to dox the poor girl. She posts this: ma'am, they're not space buns, they're Afro Puffs. Not sure the correct name. I'm not sure where she got that name, but whatever. And they are meant for black girls. Us white girls cannot use them, so I advise you to change them before it's too late. And somebody decides to call her out on that, saying too late until what happens? Till others cancel her and put her name out there. And somebody else comes in and also calls her out. So you want others to dox her for wearing a hairstyle? And of course, she dodges the entire freaking question. She should not be wearing the hairstyles if she's white, simple as that. Who is she to judge what others can and cannot do with their lives or with their characters in a single player game in which the only way to even know that she is even doing anything at all is to either go onto her own island, which requires you to be friends with her, and she invites you to her island via a friend code, or she posts a picture of it, which she is doing right now. Plus, this is a threat. This is a threat of a dox, and we all know what doxing can lead to. We all by now know what Boogie2988 had to do in order to prevent a stalker, a known harasser, from getting any further onto his property. I'm not going to say what it is. You all know what I'm talking about. It can lead to another huge problem, which is swatting. Something which the cinema snob should know a lot about, because he got swatted a few years ago, in which other people have been known to be swatted, some of which have been killed at the direct result of swatting. It is a felony. You can go to jail for that for a long time. This is not funny. It is not cute. It is not something you play around with. There is a reason YouTubers do not give you their home personal address. It is why people say you do not go to a YouTuber's house to try to harass them and do anything. That is why when YouTubers or Twitch streamers give you an address to send fan mail to, they give you a PO address, not their home address. This is not a game to be played with. Animal Crossing is a game, is a really wonderful game with a more than welcoming community, but it is pariahs like these that give people pause. And it goes even further as to what this woman had to go through just because she dared to show the fun she was having while playing a game that should be bringing a lot of people together, not doing this crap. Because it goes on, another person saying, hey, these are not called space buns, these are actually called Afro Puffs, not buns. Could you please stop being racist, spelling incorrect in context, with the new hair topic and be thankful that we have new things. This is a kids game and little ones do not need to see this content. Little kids game, I'm pretty sure that if they see your tweets, parents would stop and take pause before they let their kids be included into a community that has this sort of garbage humans in it. Goes on, another person, that's not space buns, that's Afro Puffs for black people, not you. Because of course, she's the key keeper to the gate that tells people what they can and cannot do with their own damn character. Somebody else goes, space buns, she knew WTF she was doing. No, she did not. She didn't know she was going to go through all of this. All the people saying it's a video game under the tweet have no common sense. Look yourself in the mirror. It is not that hard to not appropriate our culture. Do we have any idea what appropriating cultures mean? Because if you did, you would not be saying that comment with a straight face. They really couldn't. Said another tweet, they're clearly textured based off of black people's hairstyle. Very few white people could pull this off, you wanna bet? Black people have been fighting for more representation, white people get it for free. Stop using black hair if you're white. Who said it was exclusive to one race? Who said that any of these hairstyles were exclusive to one race or one gender or race were able to use these hairstyles? That's why you could use any hairstyle you wanted. That was the goal. That was the whole point. If you're telling people all of a sudden they can't use a hairstyle because it's meant for one particular identity, then what you're doing is you're basically doing the exact thing that is opposite of what it's trying to do, that the game was actually trying to do. Why are you using these as space buns? These are puffs, or I call them bomb-bombs. These are for POC, not for people that are not POC. This represents black people. Please stop using them. This represents us, not you. No, this represents everybody. Because everybody can use any hairstyle they damn well please, and they don't need your permission in order to use them. Another person saying, how about we let black people enjoy one thing without wanting to take it for yourself? What's stopping you from enjoying it? What the hell is stopping you from enjoying it? If you want to enjoy it, go and enjoy it. Don't let anybody else stop you. Why is this person keeping you from enjoying the thing you want to enjoy? Maybe say, hey, I'm glad you like it as well. Let's be friends. We like the same hairstyle. Why is it that it has come down to this? Why is it that we have to find something like this in everything we ever do? This is why Donald Trump won in 2016. People like this. Who wants to be around this kind of stuff? Who wants to be around these kinds of people? This is why people got pushed away, because they didn't want to be around this. And we're not learning a lesson. We need to have more unity, and this is not it, Chief. This is not it. But I want to thank God that some people came to her defense. Some people would say that these people had something called a brain. I'm going to go a little bit further and saying that these people had something called a soul because of the types of comments that this woman got. Some people actually came to her defense, and I believe they kind of lost their souls along the way when they decided to dogpile her for something as stupid as this. Somebody came in and said, I'd just like to say that everyone in this comment section getting mad over cute space buttons is honestly just really bored of being so privileged that they need to make up some sort of boogeyman to fight against to make their sad selves feel better. Another one, it annoys me. I'm white but have tight curly hair, but apparently I can't use this hairstyle because I'm not black. WTF is wrong with people? They just want to start a battle no one asked for or no one wanted. And this one gets me the most. As a POC, this entire comment section brings me nothing but pain. Just let people do what they want. God. And I don't know what that video is of, but that is a really telling tweet. And of course, Fifi comes back and just saying, thank you everyone who doesn't hate my space buttons. First of all, you do you. No one should be dogpiling you for wearing that hairstyle. And I'm gonna make sure I can do all I can to make sure that this gets out, because the people who are dogpiling her are absolutely despicable. They are disgusting. This is absolutely horrendous what they are doing. And yes, I'm using those words and I mean those words the way I'm saying them, because it's the threat of a dox. It's a threat of doing that over something as silly as this that is burning my blood. It is boiling right moment. And there's a lot of things I could be saying, but I know certain people who watch these videos who don't like me using certain language. Now, I'm not going to say them because I'm going to try to keep a little civil here, but you kind of understand where I'm getting at here. This was probably the worst things, the most vile group of comments I have ever seen, and you probably are watching a good bit of other videos on this as well, and probably seeing more comments than I'm highlighting here. Some even went as far as to try to say, oh, it's a different texture. You can tell it's a different texture. What the hell else are they going to use? Or they had to pay for something we didn't. First of all, in order to get any of these hairstyles, you have to pay through Nook Miles, through some sort of achievement-like system of dailies and stuff like that, which means that everybody has to pay for them. You have to as well. There's no exclusion to that rule. And you didn't have to pay any money for the update too. They are doing free updates. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. But this has to do with something else as well, and I want to really address this. I really do believe that we need to talk about this, because we've been seeing this happening time and time again, where somebody does something that seems so innocent, and so I'm just gonna post this just to show that I'm having fun playing the game, or I just want to show this to my friends, I want to show this to my followers, not thinking anything of it, and then they get dogpiled and get canceled for this. And this is not the first time it's ever happened, but this is the one thing that should frighten and alarm everybody. Because if you look at the types of people who are responding to her, and then the types of people who are responding to the people who are trying to defend her, you'll understand that there is no getting through to them. It is like they have a one-track mind. It is as if they already know what you're going to say and what people are going to say before they even say it. It is as if they already have all the responses ready to go. That they have this list they can copy and paste, like, oh, we already know you're going to say this, we already know you're going to bring this up. But that is the point. It is a game that focuses on inclusion. Everybody is allowed to do and wear whatever they want within the game. If you want to wear that hairstyle, regardless of your gender or your ethnicity, you can do that. Using this logic, no one can play a cat girl or a cat boy in Final Fantasy XIV. No one can choose to be an orc in World of Warcraft. Everybody has to pick human. Why? Because we're all human. We are not cat boys, we're not cat girls, we are not big hulking orcs. We can't have imaginations. We can't have a thought of what we would like to be, what our avatar, what we would want it to be, what we would love to be in a fantasy type realm. Apparently, we can't have green skin in as our avatar because no one has green skin. You see how silly this sounds? I've never had straight hair as a kid. My hair has always grown to a point where it starts curling at the neck. I've always wanted to have straight, long hair, but I've never been able to have it. But I can do that in the video game as my avatar. Sometimes I wanted to do that, and I have done that in the past. Or spiky hair like in anime, like in Dragon Ball Z, of course I could do that. And there are times that I have picked a female avatar because why not? It is a game. We are allowed to do that. That's what games are supposed to be for. To imagine yourself as how you want to be. You don't necessarily have to interpret yourself within a video game. You are allowed to do that. There's no problem in doing that. But it's not a rule that you have to do that. And trying to gatekeep one particular thing because, oh, we fought forever to get this. Yes, it's good that you have them and you should be able to enjoy having them. But that doesn't mean that you should inflict the same pain that you have felt in your life that you have incurred onto someone else just because you want to get revenge. That is not a good thing as well. That is what racism is. But back to what I've been saying, it seems like these people already have the thought of what they want to say before anybody even thinks of uttering the responses. So it does seem like there has to be someone else telling them that it's okay to dogpile. It is okay to start canceling people. Who is this? Who is that person? Who are these groups of people who are telling them it's okay to go in that direction? And more along the lines of that, why is there no one in the mainstream calling this out? And yes, I probably should know the reason behind this, but in order for us to unite, as Joe Biden wants us to do, in order for us to become together again, we have to call stuff like this out in a more mainstream atmosphere. And right now, it is not happening anywhere. They got to show this and saying, hey, this is not okay. It is time for us to really go out there and really tell people, one, this is not okay, and two, we're going to stand with Fifi or Stardew Leaf or whoever you want to call her. We're going to stand with her and say, we're going to defend you because doxing is not okay. Regardless of how you feel about the hairstyles, and it's silly to start complaining about that because it is not racist to use that hairstyle. It is not racist to do that in any sort of way because that's not what cultural appropriation is. Go look it up. It is easy to do. But we need to stand up to this. We need to stand with her, and I do stand with her proudly. And if anybody tries to threaten or do anything to her of that sort, we're going to do something about it. And we're going to make sure that justice is done. That's what we need to be saying, because this is getting ridiculous. That we have been seeing this time after time after time again, and yet nothing ever changes. We have said everything we can say. We don't know what else needs to be said. We don't know what else we can say to get it to click with these people. There is no even reasoning with some of these people. They are too far gone. But how are they too far gone? Where in that brain is telling them that this is okay? How is it not registering with their brains that this is the very reason why no one wants to be around them? Why cancel culture is existing? Yes, it does exist. It is not a myth. And you know what? It is okay, it is possible to be for diversity and inclusivity and still call out stuff like this when there is huge overreach in what they're calling racist or bigoted. There are a few examples of this in media, in TV, and in movies that come to mind here. One being the movie of Footloose. Now you may be wondering, why is it that you're referencing a Kevin Bacon movie, a very good one at that, in a video about Animal Crossing New Horizons? Well, if you remember, the pastor, the father of the girl that Kevin Bacon is trying to get with, he is sinning, he is condemning the whole idea of dancing, thinking that it's the devil's way of communicating or something along those lines. However, when people want to burn books, that's his berserk button. He thinks that's crossing the line. He thinks there's no such thing as the devil within the books. However, in doing that within the movie, but by trying to set the people right about book burnings, he realizes how hypocritical he sounds when he condemns dancing, because he's doing the same thing that those other people who are condemning books are actually doing. Of course, I referenced the Simpsons episode Marge versus Itchy and Scratchy a whole lot in these sort of battles. And we all know the story that Marge finds the violence in Itchy Scratchy to be too gruesome and starts a campaign. Everybody's with her on the violence and boycotting the show. But then the display of Michelangelo's David is erected in Springfield, and Marge can't be with the mob on this one because she believes that the Michelangelo's David is an act of art. It is a work of art. It is a classic. but people are mad because it depicts nudity. And in her not being with the mob, she ends up learning that perhaps what she believes about Michelangelo's David, her kids are believing about the Itchy Scratchy cartoons, that maybe they are works of art. Maybe that is inspiring them to get into art themselves. Obviously, the episode doesn't go that deep into the philosophical ideas of it, but by watching it, you kind of get where they're going with it. But the other thing that the episode actually teaches is that just because you're with the mob on one thing doesn't necessarily mean you have to be with them on everything, that you can have your limits when you do realize there is overreach. And we have, as a cohesive group, need to call out when there is overreach. And I don't see enough people doing that. Enough people who are liberal like me say, hey, enough is enough. And we need to call that out. It's okay to do that. I don't get why people believe that because we have to call out racism of a few things like the George Floyd murders, which was obviously an act of racism and something we need to make sure that never happens again. We also need to recognize when somebody goes and looks for something that isn't there. And in this case, they're looking for something that isn't there, and the mob is going and just following the leader, as they usually do, getting their 15 minutes of fame, not realizing that it is very harmful. And of course, the pariahs that are actually calling for this woman to be doxxed, this girl to be doxxed, should be ashamed of themselves and should be looking themselves into a mirror to see if they see a reflection. Never mind being able to look into their own souls to see what's going on. You are allowed to wear whatever hairstyle you want in the game. It is a game. It is called that thing for a reason. Nintendo allows you to wear any hairstyle you want, and harassing and doxing the woman is not okay. Do not do it. Ever. Period. Yes, Fifi or Stardew Leaf, we are standing with you. We are going to stand with you. Let us know if there's any other problems that are coming to you as a direct result of this. We will be calling them out in future videos. My name is JD Shadow, and that just happened.